The guy has no f***ing respect for anyone or anything apart from himself and Jesus.
Oh yeah, okay. Right then. I mean, to be honest, from the sounds of it, you just made the guy that I'm going to talk about sound kind of a bit more sane.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Actually, no, that's not true. No, that's not true. No, I take that back. I take that back. Actually,
This is the Kill Them with Comedy podcast, featuring true crime, amazing events, conspiracies, unsolved mysteries, and an array of weird and wonderful topics, all for your enjoyment. You're welcome.
And that proves that even people that you would trust with your life can, at some point, go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Would you like me to start the story then for this week?
Hell yeah, go for it.
Okay then, so this is the Kinky Canadian Colonel Russell Williams. You might recognise his face. I'll show you him in a second. I'll give you a bit of the backstory. Like, the main reason I decided to do this was because he was born in 1963. Most of it goes on in Canada, but he was actually born in Bromsgrove, Birmingham, which is literally just down the road from where I grew up.
Yeah. I work in Bromsgrove quite a lot. My job's based in Redditch, so.
Oh yeah, because is it Stratford upon Avon you are?
No, between Stratford upon Avon and Redditch in a place called Ulster.
Okay, yeah. So it's because I remember looking and it's like pretty much Bromsgrove is between like me, where I am now, and Stratford upon Avon. So it's probably pretty central for both of us now. Then.
Yeah.
I say that I don't.
Bromsgrove's a lovely little place. It's it's a posh version of Redditch because Redditch is fucking inbred. But there we go.
There's totally common rough areas of Bromsgrove too. Trust me.
Oh, there are.
There
absolutely
That's
are.
where I was near.
I would still probably say Redditch is worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's Birmingham. There's a lot of places in Birmingham that aren't great, but it's a lovely shithole. But so this dude's family though decided to actually move to Canada because his dad worked in a lab that dealt with nukes, the Chalk River Labs, and
excellent.
Trust me, considering what happens later on,
remember, ladies and gentlemen, as we always say on this podcast, nukes are fun. So
nukes are fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, considering what he went on to do, though, the only reason I mentioned that is both me and you should be very happy that he moved to Canada and did not stay in Birmingham, because this would have happened here.
Oh dear.
So he became a pilot in 1990 and with the Royal, I don't know what it's called, it's Canadian Air Force, but basically he eventually rose to being a full-on colonel. He's a major lieutenant colonel and then a complete colonel, which is higher apparently in the Canadian Air Force, Armed Forces. Let me just show you a picture of him now. Actually, that's Mr. Colonel Williams.
Oh shit! I remember this dude.
You recognise his face?
I know this guy.
Okay.
I've seen the pictures, Carl. Well, I know this guy. Oh wow! Oh, we're going to be having a great day today.
I found a few more little tidbits that I didn't know as well. That I'm like, wow.
Oh, excellent! Because I've only ever seen like a meme fucking bit of it with information. I cannot wait for the full details, Carl. This is shit I've been wanting to know for years.
There's some horrible details, but there are some amazing details too.
Yeah.
But just to give everyone an idea then of how like far within the Canadian Air Force Armed Forces he was, and here is a picture, for example, of him just chilling with the Queen. There's a whole video. He goes and has a natter with her afterwards inside.
It doesn't help that he looks like a really aggressive version of Flea from fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers.
It's true, actually, yeah. Fucking hell, Flea, if he worked out. Jesus.
Yeah.
Took a load of steroids. I mean, I don't know if this guy took steroids, but
it's definitely from the other angle. From the other angle with the Queen, it looks really weird.
Well, we've got a few more angles of him yet to have a look at, so don't worry about that. We'll see. Which probably are nearer to what Flea would be wearing, to be fair.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I got you covered. Don't you worry, sir.
Yeah.
Where are we
you know what I can do, Carl?
Yeah?
I can do the Sterling Archer breakfast. Ever seen Archer?
The animated spy program.
Yeah.
I've seen bits. I've never
gummy bears and scotch. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like something an alcoholic with a sweet tooth would love. I never watched that. That's one I've never actually watched. Have you seen Invincible on Prime at the moment, the new one?
No.
You'd very much like it. It's just I think it's based on actual comics as well. Called Invincible. Actually, yes, yeah. It's just an 18 rated superhero cartoon. It's great.
Oh, I'm fucking down. Yeah, that sounds great.
It's only like 5 or 6 episodes in. They're all like 40-odd minute episodes, so they're not short either.
Fuck yes.
Like the first episode, just watch the first episode the whole way through, and then drop me a message. The end is great.
Is Invincible ID Comics, or is it? You go ahead and tell your story. I'm gonna Google this.
I haven't got a clue, to be honest, but it's a very good program. You definitely like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so just about Russell then.
Yeah, it's ID.
Okay.
I thought so.
ID, is that independent or is that just
independent?
Okay. I feel like I know that as a brand for comics. What else do they do?
They've done loads of stuff.
But they did Watchmen or not?
No, I think that was an offshoot of Warner Brothers or DC, which I think is probably Dark Horse. I'm not sure, or it was just straight up DC.
Dark Horse sounds familiar though. God knows,
yeah, Dark Horse. Dark Horse have done loads of stuff. Dark Horse did it's Image Comics. That's right.
Image. Okay, that does sound familiar.
But they are called ID because it's independent. Independent something, but it's Image Comics. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much recommend that. Let me know when you've seen the first one. I mean, the second one might be great too, but I'm only halfway through it. But the first one's great.
Also, I kind of love Image Comics just because they're sort of the plucky underdog out of the three. Because like you've got Marvel, you've got DC, and then there's Image just sitting there going, like, "We're going to do some weird shit, and we're just going to see what happens."
But yeah,
it's excellent.
I mean, if it's like if the offshoot like other stuff I've seen are them anyway. A lot of the stuff that's done by the other places, just a lot of times, it's obviously Marvel's got the money behind. That's different. And the whole, but it's just they're better a lot of the time.
Yeah, well, the thing about Marvel
is, for example, that's good too. The Boys on Amazon.
Yeah, The Boys is fucking good. The Boys is brilliant. Yeah, I still haven't watched season 2 yet, which is ridiculous.
Oh, you really should.
I need to get. Yeah, I really should. Yeah.
So then Mr. Williams then.
Yes, this creepy Canadian fuck.
See, this next week
we do love Canada. Canada comes up a lot in this podcast.
It comes up in true crime in general. Canada, Texas, Florida. Some of the other places that you hear of a lot. I'm missing one, like Chicago. Chicago, you hear about a lot too. That's just America.
Yeah, Chicago is a fucking just murder capital of America.
But yeah, Canada pops up all the time. Like, which is weird considering they're always seen as such nice people, but it's almost like hidden, like they're just hiding.
Because they've got a lot of guns. There's a lot of guns and there's not a lot of sunlight, which tends to not be a good combination.
Well, this is one of the few people though that I say. I've always, as you know, I say this all the time. It's like if you're a serial killer, don't use a fucking gun. It's so cheap and lazy. At least have a bit of pride in your fucking work.
Yeah. Enjoy your work, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, a bit of creativity, But this guy's an idiot. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. You'll see what I mean. Yeah. This guy's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking colonel. God knows how he rose to that rank. We'll get there though. See, apparently they seem to think that he was this normal guy up until he was like, because he was old when all that happened. Like, I don't know, actually 63, so it would have been like he'd been in his 40s. But this here, in my opinion, is like the start of it, because apparently in university he would be known as a guy who would play pranks on everyone else in there, like they all had their own rooms. And what he would do is he would pick the lock of people's rooms, go inside, and wait until they came back, wait until they came back, and then I don't know if he had actually just jumped out basically when they came in and scared them, almost as if he was just going in there for another reason completely. And then when they came in, it's like, surprise, I was here for you. No other reason, not doing anything else.
Yeah, this is just a prank, bro.
over and over to everyone. and he learned how to pick a lock and everything.
Yeah,
That's normal behavior.
And also, like, clearly has no idea what boundaries are. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah.
And then in the 2000s, so he was already a colonel at this point, I believe. In the 2000s, he would eventually develop a back problem, and he would go on strong anti-inflammatory medication. The reason I mention this is some of the videos make out that could be a reason, because apparently it is very loosely linked to changes in attitude and stuff, but not this much or this sudden, or just no. I don't buy it at all.
No.
Yeah. I doubt it helped. But I don't think it did.
It's not the factor. Yeah.
No. I fucking hope not. Anyway.
Otherwise, there's a lot of people on that drug having a lot of problems. Yeah.
No, I just don't buy that at all, because, like I said, I don't buy that he wasn't doing something else when he was sneaking in. I think that was the start of it.
Oh yeah, that's creepy shit. That's creepy shit.
Yeah. And like, what he'll get into. So he was happily married to Mary Elizabeth. She worked as something to do with stroke victims. So she was very busy herself. He actually, they lived together in some house somewhere. It's Ontario, Scarborough. That was it.
Okay.
But he actually, in the week, stayed in this cottage that was near to Tweed, because that was in Tweed. Sorry, this little city, little town nearby. Because it was nearer to his military base. So during the week he would stay there, go to the base, and then on the weekends he would go back home.
Yeah.
But he had a lot of free time to kill, basically. And he filled that. I don't know how he did it until 2007, but in 2007 he started filling that free time by breaking into homes in Tweed and the nearby Ottawa as well. Yeah. Could have been doing it before that. We are going by his account, bear in mind.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's like, no, I didn't do it ever before then, officer. No, this was 2070.
I mean, the majority of the story happens in 2009, but it's like, even if you went back 2 years, like, I don't buy that it wouldn't have been way before. There could have been anything. Who knows?
Yeah, this guy's creepy as fuck.
Yeah. What he's admitted to anyway, and there is obviously some evidence that's been involved. There's not that much detail into the evidence before the two main things later on, basically, at this point.
Yeah.
So he would scope out neighbours' homes and break in when he knew they were out. But he would be doing it not to murder or steal, but to put on women's and girls' clothing and then to whack one out. We know this for sure, to be fair, actually, because of photos.
That's the
like
best
this one.
No, Carl, no. Oh, no.
Give everyone a tasteful backside photo.
The worst one's the one on the right, because it goes right up his cleft. Oh, Christ.
Wait, I forgot then. I did mention, didn't I, that he would put he would do not just but to put on women's clothes. Okay, I did mention that.
Yeah.
To make sure I prepared people a little bit, at least.
God, it's such a weird thing. It's like, it's a fetish upon a fetish upon a... Oh, for fuck's sake, God. What's worse about this one? Go back.
Yeah,
you can see his fucking erection. You can see his erection, Carl. And he's got it taped in along the band, going to the left, because he doesn't want it to show, Carl.
Do you want to know the difference?
This is planned.
Do you want to know how, like, an example of how similar we normally think, but how different we think sometimes too? That's what you saw first. The first thing I saw and thought when you said, "Oh no, this is worse," is because they weren't matching. It bothered me.
Oh God! And again, like, people.
Take that off.
If you want to,
the dude's a bit ripped for his age.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he could handle himself and several other people.
Well, he was handling himself apparently after that photo.
Jesus Christ. Or before, like, frothing himself up beforehand. Oh God, Jesus Christ!
I don't know. That looks like the first boner to me.
Yeah, but the worst part is, people, if you want to dress up in women's clothes, if that's something you want to do, fucking do it. But don't break into other people's houses. Do it in their clothes and have a honking stonk on when you do it.
And if you have a honking stonk on, don't then relieve the honking stonk on.
Yeah, because that's just rude.
But I would say one thing for him, though. One thing I will say for Mr. Russell Williams is he had the politeness to at least every time, most of the times anyway, leave a thank you note for the owners.
Oh, fuck no. I didn't know that bit. Why the fuck would he do that?
He would leave
Thank
little
you very
notes,
much.
even writing.
Loved it. Was it like a little fucking one of those books they put in the fucking in a sort of hotel, like, or like one of those little villas you get? Like, was lovely. I heard a mockingjay. Sorry for the jizz in your trousers.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry. God, I just hashtagged in real life, didn't I? Oh, God, I feel dirty now. Oh.
Yeah, you should do. It's okay. It's okay.
I felt dirty after saying that than seeing that picture.
Yeah.
But the only one I know for sure in regards to what he wrote was on a computer of a teenage girl that he went to. And he wrote a note on the computer just saying mercy. So...
Wow, that's creepy.
Yeah, it is very strange. Because imagine how that must have. And not only that as well, he would revisit houses. Not always, but he would revisit some houses as well and leave it again. There's more.
God, what a violation of privacy and and fucking panties.
There is a better thank you note coming up, but it is sandwiched in between something a bit more escalated in a second, though.
Yeah.
This is where it goes a bit. His MO starts to change from here on out, from just breaking in, making sure they're not. Well, to be fair, his MO didn't change completely actually, because he would always watch to see whether they're in or not. It's just now suddenly he's doing it for another reason. He wants them to be in now. Basically,
he wants to get caught. It's a fetish on a fetish.
Oh, it's a bra on a bra and a hat on a bra.
Yeah, this is the problem. Like, people don't fuck it. If you get to the point when your fetishes are starting to have to double up, stop. Just stop for a few months and let yourself resettle. It's like when you watch too much porn and you find yourself getting up the fucking scale, and by the end of it you're searching for some really nasty shit, the kind of stuff where you go like, Jesus Christ, why the fuck did I just watch that? I didn't even find it sexy. It was beyond gross. Why the hell would anyone want to see a prolapsed vagina? And then at that point, you go, okay, let's just watch masturbation videos for a bit. Settle ourselves down again.
That's a lie. You always go back onto the history and you always start from the same point or the point just below, but you always end up on the same point again.
It's true. It's
Once
true.
it's on the table,
you'll always end up getting back up there.
It's on the menu. It's not coming off again. That's what I told my ex anyway, but not long after that we became exes, so maybe that didn't help.
Maybe, but you shiv and burn.
you shiv and burn. But okay then. So his first victim, anyway, Mr. Russell Williams, was a fellow Tweed resident who was asleep with an infant daughter. It doesn't actually say after this what happened to the infant daughter, but there's nothing in regards to him harming her or anything. So that's one thing.
Okay. That's fine.
I don't know if we'd say it's fine.
All of the rest of it is forgiven.
There we go. Okay, yeah. So when he broke in, then he bound and blindfolded her. He sexually assaulted her, or the video I watched for some reason referred to it every time as fondled her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They're very strange. That was very strange. And it's a video, it's a guy I watch all the time. And I've never heard him say that. And he said it every time during this video.
Fondled.
When he fondled her and then took pictures of her naked. That chapter, for anyone though, they're great. Just maybe don't watch that one because that one's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But he's Irish, so every time he says free, he says, what is it? Tree? Is that what he says?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You don't need that fucking. What am I plugging him for? He don't need us. He gets 1 million views every fucking one. Fuck that. Watch Shaz. Fuck him.
Yeah. Come to this show. This show is way more professional.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
So he did all that anyway. Took pictures of her while she was naked, all that, but didn't kill her or anything. He just left then, so she was okay. Just
a bit of sexual assault, nothing. Yeah, okay, it's sexual assault. It's fucking gross. Okay.
Yeah. But it's not murdery, basically.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
no
2
one
weeks.
Died.
Yeah. 2 weeks later, he broke into another home, punched a woman living inside in the head, and then did the same to her. That was the only details I could get, that he punched her in the head. But yeah,
that's
I'm guessing
not the way you start a relationship.
Oh, you say that, but I've had some good relationships that have started like that.
How many times have you been punched in the head, then fucked, Carl?
A lot. It's the only way I can get an erection anymore.
Yes. Okay. We're cooking with gas now.
Oh my god, yeah, cooking with gas, because Russell is about to get fucking hot, and oh my god, it goes weird in a second right now, man.
Yeah. Okay.
In November 2009, Russell broke. Oh, actually, no. Okay, that was the weirdest stuff. Okay, we're gonna go this. Okay. In November 2009, Russell broke into a house near to Tweed and stole an apparent huge bunch of underwear. I've got this is part of his collection, so this is some of it.
Oh fuck.
He stole a hell of a lot of underwear, but he also stole from this place a porn video and various sex toys. The woman who lived there was never there. She wasn't, she only realized afterwards when all the stuff was missing. She really, really, really realized, though, when she saw a note on her computer that he'd left for her that said, "Go ahead and call the police. I want to show the judge your really big dildos."
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Like, what? There is so much
because he really wants to be caught at this point. He's basically screaming, "Someone stop me before I do something terrible." That's
not what it is, though. Like, he really didn't seem to, because I watched the whole interview with him. He did not want to be caught. Like, really? I think
so strange.
I think he generally thought her collection of dildos was worse than him. To the judge would see her collection of dildos as worse than him breaking into a house and stealing her underwear and doing other things, and all the other stuff he would already be linked to at this point as well.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, this guy clearly has lost every single part of the plot. The plot no longer exists for him.
But he is completely... In the interview, he is completely stable. He's aware of the thoughts. He's calculated. He's not lost his mind, but he's totally lost his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so strange.
Yeah, but so that was the start of the escalation, and it would escalate a lot more in a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I find it hard to move past that note. I don't get just the fact. Oh my god,
so weird.
It's very fucking weird.
I want to show the judge your big dildos. Oh no! No, how? Oh no! I can see it popping out the top side. Oh, Carl, Carl! Oh no!
Tell you what, let's
make a note just in case YouTube wants us to cut it out. Oh,
you can't see it that much.
No, you can barely see it, but it's there, and I know it's there.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm just going to have to pop that up around the Thailand.
The thing is, it's so artful, and it's the same direction every single time. Every single time. Because as we know as men, dicks tend to have a specific lean they want to have one way or another. You know, like some people it goes that way, some people it goes that way. For me, I'm a that way. You know what I'm saying?
Which go the other way to the screen. So for everyone that was trying to figure it out, it's the other way. Do you think?
Yeah. It goes to the left-hand side of my body. You know, what I'm
that is the
saying?
right
It's
way,
sort of-
actually. The left.
Yeah.
Ignore me. I'm getting confused about directions of
Yeah.
penises. So I don't
All I'm
really
saying
need
is
to be
my
confused
dick
about-
leans in the same direction as him, but I am not wearing those panties. Okay.
Well, now, anyway.
Now.
No,
Yeah,
okay,
not
yeah,
yet.
that's yeah.
And
But
if I
I'm
did,
gonna
I'd
go
buy
on
my
eBay
own,
later,
but that's-
baby.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. I've put it off as long as I can. The nitty gritty, more
Yeah, it comes to
worse
the
stuff.
ruthless
Then,
bit.
so little bit more backstory. Well, not really, but basically, to keep his status as a pilot in the armed forces, because he was a colonel at this point, he would have to fly an Airbus at least once a week. On most of these flights, one of the flight attendants would be a woman named Corporal Mary France Como.
Oh dear.
So in late November 2009, which is the late the month of the same month we talked about when he went in and the dildo stuff and all that malarkey happened.
Mm-hmm.
Same time. So that same month, sorry, Marie failed to report to work duty after returning home from a work trip to India. Her boyfriend checked up on her at her house, went to check on her, at her house after learning this, and found her body. And basically, after like the interview and stuff with Russell, we got an idea of what happened. It seems as though she was in India, and Russell broke into her home and did all his usual stuff, did his little catwalk here, took the boat and wrote a note, for example, did all this.
Yeah, yeah.
She was away in India the whole time and everything. She didn't come back or anything like that. But basically, yeah, so he knew where she lived. He got copies of her stuff and that. Like, he was just a bit creepy in general before as well, apparently. But this is how he knew it all. When she returned, she noticed a lot of the stuff had moved around. I assume he hadn't left a note, but enough stuff was moved around and that she noticed something had been there, something had happened. Accused the boyfriend. Boyfriend denied it, obviously. A few days after this, though, he broke in and apparently was waiting for her to fall asleep before he went and did his thing again. But I don't believe that anyway, because every other time he's gone in, knowing they're there, he's gone in for that reason.
Yeah.
Apparently, though, what would happen? Yeah, so he's saying that basically to say that I didn't plan to kill her and all that. But apparently, what happened was she went to retrieve one of her cats, and then found them all in the basement, staring at Russell, who was standing there. His face was covered. No, sorry. His face was covered, and before she could react, he attacked her with his flashlight, beating her until she was unconscious. Once she was, he covered her face with duct tape and tied her to a pole. He would record himself beating and sexually assaulting her, even taking breaks to find more lamps to improve the lighting because apparently he cared about production value.
Fucking hell.
After 2 hours, he placed duct tape over her nose and watched her suffocate. He then cleaned up and went to work. And then, obviously, later on, the boyfriend would find her.
The boyfriend find her, yeah. Fucking hell.
So that was his first actual murder.
This is the thing to me where it sort of sounds almost like he was trying to get someone to stop him.
It does sound like it, yeah.
He's leaving notes behind. He's sort of taking photos. He's actually actively making evidence. He is going into people's houses, like, specifically to do this. He eventually ends up going to houses while he knows people are there. Like, this is a thing of fucking find me.
Yeah.
And whether it's a sort of a cat and mouse chase, or whether it's sort of, you know, he thinks he's smarter than everyone, he's trying to prove it to himself, or even if it's just literally he is going, please someone find me before I do something terrible, in his own head somehow. Like, there's something really twisted going on in that dude's fucking head. So twisted.
All the evidence does show to that, but then when you actually listen to him talking, it doesn't come across like that at all. But maybe
I mean,
it's
that's
a conscious thing.
And it could also be split personality or bipolar things like that as well. He could have.
He had
so many issues.
He's got no issues of mental health or anything. He gets checked a lot, like with the army stuff, and they checked him.
That's so
like
weird.
They do mention this. They check him afterwards. He's completely sound of mind and all this. Something somewhere though. I think it was. I don't know. Like maybe part of him was trying to get himself caught, but then at the same time, he definitely didn't want to because he was so worried about it getting out with his military base and all that.
Yeah, it's such a.
It's well worth going on.
Weird one.
For anyone watching, do this after, and yourself as well. Go into that chapter and look for the episode. I think it's just The Disturbing Nature of Russell Williams, something like that.
Yeah.
And just go to the middle and just watch the full interview bit. And it's just really interesting because it's all after this anyway. Like,
yeah.
There's a great little tidbit in it that is just actually you know what? There's a good little tidbit that actually kind of very much goes with what you're saying. And I never thought about it like that until now. But I think maybe stupidity more as well, though, played a big part too.
Yeah.
Jesus. So that was November 2009. Okay, so fast forward then to January 2010. So like what, 2.5 months later, I think it was.
Yeah.
After his first murder, he went over 2 months without breaking into any homes or attacking anyone or anything. But once again, just for all we know. But that changed. That all changed on the 28th of January 2010. Or the 29th, because it was like 1 a.m. Basically, what happened a few nights before that, Russell was jogging along when he saw a woman through a window on a treadmill, Jessica Lloyd. And then, so the 28th, he went there, 29th.
Yeah, the thing is, as soon as you hear that, he saw a woman in the window, it's like, oh, God damn it, why?
Yeah, you know where it's going. I mean, just fast forward into just after it, basically. On the 29th of January, later that day, basically, she failed to show up to work, and the family were, like, told straight away. They actually went to check the same day, and they found her purse and glasses on the floor. Outside, checked the whole flat, though, and she just wasn't there.
Right, so this is, again, the thing. He's gradually increasing this stuff each time. So he's gone from fucking, like, murder to abduction, and then undoubtedly murder.
Sorry, I was just at the same time then trying to figure out where I actually put the details for this night because I know of it. Where's the actual details for it? Because I know I've got them down here. Okay, I'll go through how I've written it, and then if it doesn't pop up, then I'll just fill it in after.
Yeah.
So the police were called, and the search started like straight away. They found boot impressions in the back garden that were noticed and evidence like straight away. They were very obvious, basically. Same with very clear and distinctive tire tracks, nearby.
Yeah.
From a picture that I saw, went like around like a thing, so as if like there was like the house there, you know, and it had gone like around this little, not wooded bit, like on the outskirts of a wood, but there was like grass and stuff. So almost as if like he creeped up this motorway and was watching, and then did something.
Yeah.
The search party included that the police were using included air vehicles and personnel from the Canadian Air Force that were literally all signed off by Colonel Russell Williams. I can't say that.
What? Really?
Yeah,
Fucking
he signed off the actual, like, he had to. He was like the colonel of all that stuff, so it all goes through him technically. It's unclear if this is the same night or following night with this next bit here. Basically, what happened was because the tire treads were the only evidence the main bit of evidence that they had that they could use to find him, find whoever it was. They set up checkpoints on the main highway that was right near to her house, which is where I said the car would have gone off from. But it doesn't say if it's the same night. If it was on the 29th or the next one, I suppose it would matter either way. Though I think the idea was they were hoping, watching out for any of the same car with, you know, because they knew what car it was by then. They were watching out for anyone in the same car basically going past, because if they go past there normally, they might go past there and they may have, etc., you know.
Yeah.
So they were just hoping, and they actually managed to pull someone over. They were in luck. They stopped and questioned the driver of a matching car with the matching tyres. It was driven by Russell Williams. They actually got him. Yeah. But there is a surprise, because he told them that he had to hurry as his sick kid was in the back, and they could see someone in the back all wrapped up, not moving very much. They didn't check it out very much. They gave him the benefit of the doubt because he's a colonel, I'm assuming, because they could prove who he was. God knows why.
Yeah.
And they let him go. And just let him go.
Son of a bitch.
So they let him go though, sorry, but they did keep like basic surveillance on him, but that surveillance kind of upped a little bit very quickly once they checked like his records and that and realised, wait, he hasn't got any kids.
Oh, fucking hell. That is the dumbest lie in the fucking world. Again, like, why would he fucking say that if he wasn't trying to get caught eventually? It's just... Jesus Christ.
Yeah. You're right. Every time now you said that, everything that I'm going through, it makes perfect sense, but it's just the interview just doesn't fit that at all. But maybe it's more of a subconscious thing,
Maybe, like it's a sort of weird cry for help that his body's leaving behind. Almost, I don't know.
It's weird in general, everything about it anyway. Like, because there's also the fact that he was just, even if he was a bit weird beforehand, he'd still, like, being like highly respected. Like, no one ever said anything bad about him before any of this. Like, he was a very respected person in the Canadian Armed Forces and that. Like, and then he was like, it's normally you're a lot younger when you start this stuff. If you're that person.
Yeah,
just a lot of it doesn't make sense. Okay, so on the 7th of February,
God damn it, I'm too tired. Sorry.
On the 7th of February 2010, he was brought in for questioning.
Yeah.
He went. This is great. Also fits into what he said, but I think just pure stupidity. He went to the interview wearing the same boots he used to abduct Jessica. Exact same boots.
Hell.
And he knew. It's not like they just came and took him. They asked him to come in.
Fucking amazing. Hell, man! Like, how is this?
This is one bit in the interview that might actually go against what you're saying as well about wanting to be caught, because when they ask him that, like one of the cameras is just full on his face, and they ask him that, and you can see that moment of looking down, like, yeah, that's fine, it's fine, like that moment of fuck.
Yeah, till we check the boots. Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, you can't even imagine. Like, he'd also agreed to have like DNA test and that, like, and he's been coming and stuff in these places. It's not like he just jumped in. I mean, maybe he cleaned up a little bit, but
but it doesn't matter. There's still going to be like pubes and shit. The guy was hairy. Let's be honest.
To be fair,
we all saw.
we did see. He wasn't there. That's a fair point, actually. If I was going to go around looking at myself in the mirror in women's clothes, I'd at least want to have a shave first.
Yeah.
They complete the look, surely.
Have a little bit of dignity,
Yeah. Give yourself a mani as well would be the best thing to do, really, especially for the photos. That's wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, took that shit in, man.
Get some fucking wax going as well. Get it like butter smooth.
Got to go full on like Kelly Clarkson. Got to do it all. Again, so they told him they were investigating 4 incidents in particular. I don't know which 4 it is, but one of them is obviously Jessica. So and the other death as well. And apparently they found some links to him, because apparently every time he would talk and explain something, the guy would go outside and find out, no, that doesn't work, or no, that's because of this or this. So basically, it was like, in the end, he just admitted it because there was nothing else he could do. Like,
he was quite clearly not a very good liar at all, from what we've seen.
He was very full of himself. He walked in, and you could tell he really thought. I buy into the fact that he just thought he was just smarter, and that they just wouldn't think it was him because of all the work he put into his life or something. Maybe being a colonel and all that. Thought he was better than people.
That does happen, like, surprisingly a lot. There's a video I saw of a woman who was a police chief or something like that.
Oh, Lazarus.
Yeah, man, you've seen that. Yeah, bro, that's an interesting fucking story, that one.
I can't remember
the way it took so long. Well, yeah, she wanted to fuck this dude that she'd been seeing for a while, but this dude married someone else, so she manufactured a situation where she could go there and kill her without anyone knowing, basically. But then years later, sort of people started to find out, and also she was like close to the husband afterwards and as well, and was like, "Oh, I can help you out. We can, I can help you solve this. I'll put my best police on it. All this kind of stuff." Same kind of shit with this
she was
guy
like
as well.
She was like high up as well, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was real high up, either a chief or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, some kind of leader position at least. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and or captain, I think it might have been. But like either way, she knew what she was doing, but even then, she just left these gaping fucking holes in her story. It's like the people, even when they know what interview tactics are being used on them, they will fall apart.
Well, yeah.
It's so strange, so strange.
It's kind of amazing as well, like in the sense, not like super like fascinating, kind of amazing, like just in the sense of, like you said, people that know this stuff will still think they're smart enough to outdo it.
Yeah,
or it's just. Oh, I love just
because they think they're superior somehow. It's very, very strange. And that comes in a lot with psychopathy and sociopathy and things like that. Like people with those traits tend to be, they tend to think that they are better than everyone else in some way or another, whether they're smarter or stronger or whatever,
And they need to get to our level where we think we're better than everyone else. We know we're better than everyone else, but we're nice too. We don't kill people.
Well, that's the thing, because you see the thing is, Carl, when you are actually better than everyone else, like we are, you don't have to push it.
It's like it's like you're not. As soon as you're asking someone if you're cool, you're not cool because you're only cool.
Yeah. And I've never cared about being cool. So
you don't care about just what you are. You just can't help it.
Yeah, I'm just me, bro. I'm basically an English Matthew McConaughey. Okay, now, we all need to just be cool to each other. Okay, and that's
To fair, not many people can pull off a t-shirt with a penis on that you're literally beating now. I couldn't remember the tune properly, but I know I like this. Okay then, so so he would eventually confess to it all anyway. Then he would confess to, on that night, seeing her through the window, he once again broke in, blindfolded her, sexually assaulted her for 3 hours, but then he actually took her to his cottage, that one that he had in Tweed this time, which he hadn't done before, and then kept her there for a further 21 hours.
Fucking hell.
Doing exactly the same kind of stuff, basically. Photographing her as well, forcing her into positions, apparently which is one of those things I don't really see how we know this, but apparently he told her a lot that he wouldn't kill her up until the point that he killed her. I don't know why as well. He generally seems to have a thing. Like, you imagine the first time you club someone to death with a flashlight, it's just you did it because apparently she crept up on you. This time, 24 hours all in all, and he still ended up killing her with a flashlight.
Yeah.
So it's such a weird MO. Kill them with a flashlight, strangle them as well, and then dress up in their clothes. It's just strange.
It sounds very much like a man just sort of getting more and more carried away with a really, really horrible thing.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to that thing, like the first time he's just gonna sexually assault her, and like he did with the previous one, but this time he ends up killing her, and then that gives him this extra rush, but he wants to make it last longer because
I suppose it's like he's devolved.
You can just see the fucking Lego bricks of evil being fucking built up into Tracy Island or whatever the fuck it is.
You know what? I would not be surprised if he was doing these like break-ins just most of his life, going by the university stuff, because I would not be, considering what he went on to do.
This is the thing, I mean, how many other times has he done that in places and not been caught, and no one's ever thought about it because they never found any of the fucking information to sort of prove it?
Exactly, and he seems like quite a smart guy in regards to, like his story and all that, because he's a colonel, so you must imagine he has some level of brains to him. I know a lot of this doesn't evidence it, but you imagine he must have some level of brains to him.
Yeah, well, you'd hope so.
Well, yeah.
Well, it's part of the military. You'd like to think that the military isn't necessarily, taking in complete and total dunces, but so far we've not seen anything in this that would prove otherwise.
I just don't buy that this was just all brand new. I just think he was doing this all after a certain point, and then he got to a certain. Maybe those meds didn't help a bit too, and he just lost. It just helped him devolve a bit, do what he just always wanted to do.
Whatever happened,
or whatever,
Yeah, whatever happened in his head, like it was clearly just he's gradually just losing his.
It was always there.
His grip on whatever it was he had, whether it was, sanity or whatever else.
Yeah. So something.
And that's the thing. It starts off so funny. It's just this dude dressing up in stuff, and then it just gradually turns into this fucking Jesus Christ, this nasty bastard.
It gets a bit funnier in a second, don't worry. What happened to him afterwards, especially.
Right, okay,
So just finishing up this then, so he would kill her at that point, and then he would go to work, leave the body in his cottage while he was in work, and then just returned and dumped it afterwards. He would tell the officers in that interview the location of her once he'd been found out, so at least he didn't try and hold it off like a lot of them do for like years, to try and get time off and all that. But I think part of the reason he did that was because he when he was in what would you call it, like before, you're not in prison yet, but you're in the holding cells and all that.
Oh, jail.
Yeah.
Oh, the holding cells is also a thing. Yeah,
there's a word I'm thinking of, and I couldn't think of it earlier. It was really annoying me, and I can't think of it now still.
Custody?
But I suppose, custody. I don't know. But basically, at some point before he went to trial and that anyway, he tried to kill himself. And just the way that he tried to kill himself, like, I know you're in prison. I know you got limited options, but what?
This isn't the way.
I mean, it might have worked, but still, like,
what was he trying?
It didn't, but he just took empty toilet paper rolls, and stuffed them down his throat. Yeah.
What?
How does that become the first thing you're gonna do? I mean, they would just soak up and I feel like it would just be really uncomfortable after a bit. You can't have that many cardboard toilet rolls available in prison either. There can't be a big cachet of them.
I mean,
it's just weird.
I mean, if you're planning on killing yourself like that, why not just fucking drown yourself? You can drown in like 2 inches of water. Get a fucking swirly yourself and stay there. You'll be fine. What? This guy is
very hard to
so weirdly inept. Like, he does loads of weirdly like clandestine, over the top shit, and then just does like Mr. Bean level fuck ups all the way through.
That perfectly goes with like a lot. He had like loads of evidence, for example, when they were searching the cottage and his actual house. He had like loads of evidence everywhere, but it was all like super well hidden. Like he had like stuff like taped in random places. Like he had recordings taped like under and in this weird part of the piano, for example, in his actual house. He had like loads of like folders within folders within folders within like MP3 players and stuff, with the photos in. So yeah, like that was an idea. Like he'd done a lot of smart. I mean, it wasn't smart to keep it.
But the thing is, he doesn't understand, because he's not that smart. Because he doesn't understand that when someone's actually scanning your computer for files that they're trying to find on you, they don't just do it manually. They get a fucking program to scan through for images that might have, like, for fuck's sake, Jesus Christ!
The reason I mentioned that as well is because a lot of people seem to think there was like a big thing as well after this where they tried to make out that the wife would have known. They were like, how would the wife not have known? But it's like he was living away from her for 5 days a week.
Yeah. He was on a military base for the most part. Like he's got the ultimate excuse. Oh, sorry, darling, I can't I can't come home today. Oh, why not? I can't tell you. Sorry, it's a matter of national security. Like, you can't ask any more questions. Yeah, you can't ask those questions. You know.
It just seemed like he got that place to go and stay at, you know, like because it was near to the military base, and all of a sudden he had that free time, and all of a sudden he had no reason not to go and do these things.
Yeah, that's so fucking messed up.
I don't buy that the wife was in on it at all, because I reckon he probably would have understood that concept that they would be able to find the photos. He was probably hiding them from the wife more, in my opinion.
Yeah. I would put money on the fact that the wife wouldn't have known about it. Yeah. There's no way she would have fucking known that this guy was doing this weird shit. Like, could you imagine if you found fucking pictures of your husband doing that shit? That is going to be grounds for divorce, regardless of whether you know that he's broken into people's houses to do it. And then you're going to go to someone, you're going to say, oh, you know what happened? This person. And then someone's going to go, oh, well, someone had their house broken into recently, and they had just dominoes all the way down. Yeah. She would have had no fucking clue. No fucking clue.
Oof. And it's just also the fact as well, like, he obviously, that was the one thing I got from it all, was he didn't want, he seemed to be good. Well, so like in the interview and that, he seemed to be quite open, like, about like admitting like to a lot of the stuff, like in the sense of, yes, he wanted to be caught maybe, but then when it comes to the dressing up in women's clothing, seemed to be the thing that he was really worried about getting out as well, like. Yeah.
Oh, please don't tell anyone about that. I murdered the bitch, but don't ever tell anyone. Don't ever tell anyone I wore the panties.
From what I got, that was more about like what he was embarrassed about. Yeah.
Again, that fits so much with this weird personality this guy's got, of just like completely ignoring like the macro level shit. And just focusing on the minutiae to the point where he just fucks everything up.
Yeah. he was doing that thing as well during the interview a lot, that you seem to notice when you can tell that someone's like guilty or something of whatever they're being accused of. Like, they're like very like not saying much to most of the things, or just like, you know, blah blah blah. But then when it's like a really easy thing to answer,
then it's like, oh no, because I had to do this, and also I did this other thing. That's the one thing I learned watching those interviews, is whenever you're in an interview situation, answer yes or no whenever possible.
If you're in an interview by the police, just get a fucking lawyer there.
Just get a lawyer. Yeah, don't say a fucking word until you've got a lawyer. End of story. Yeah.
Even if you like most of us probably, you can't afford a lawyer, you don't have a lawyer or anything.
Yeah, you can still get one legally, because you're still legally allowed your lawyer. So don't say anything until there is a fucking lawyer.
And fuck that whole thing about, you know, like, oh, well, it just makes you seem as if you're guilty. You're just like, well, whatever. I don't care.
Whatever.
Like,
wait till the lawyer's there, and then once the lawyer's there and you're not guilty, you can go, this is why I'm not guilty, and my lawyer's going to help me prove it.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say something like, even like just some of my friends have said stuff in like situations, like when they've been caught with like a spliff or something, you know, or some bud, and then they've said like, you know, like, oh no, I don't do anything, I don't deal or anything, you know, I just give like my friends some or something. Like, you do realize that you just admitted to dealing. So what?
Yeah, never say that.
It's tiny things you might not think about, which is why
whatever you say,
you don't know.
And like, no matter how much you get found with, it's just, that's personal use, 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 that's fucking personal use.
This was like a long time ago, probably like, I don't know, like 9 years ago or something, because it was a bit stricter, I think, then than it is now.
It's actually, I think, if any, it depends. It might well have got more strict now because of various reasons.
But at the same time, I think the majority of police and just people in general don't seem to care. I remember when I got recently reminded about a party we had the once back at one of my flats, and we're smoking and stuff and drinking, and the police got called to the party. It was in Maypole at the time when I was near to Bromsgrove and that. And then the police came, but they were actually coming for a party upstairs. We didn't realise till after, but they came down to us assuming because we were the younger ones. And
sorry, my chair keeps squeaking, so I keep muting it. Sorry.
I suppose I won't say who, but one of my friends anyway was rolling outside, and then they just finished rolling the spliff, looked up, and literally the police were getting out the car, and he straight away But he straight away put it away. It was like probably that they saw, but apparently they walked up, and as they come to the house, the one cop was like, "Hide the drugs." And just carried on.
Oh, I love it. Oh, love it. Love it so much. Yeah. I respect that so much. Like, police, the vast majority of police don't give a shit if you're smoking a bit of fucking weed.
No,
they really don't care. They've got far more important things to be dealing with.
Exactly.
You know, like there's you know, domestic violence calls. There's fucking assaults in the streets. There's robberies. There's murders.
Literally any crime.
They don't give a shit that you're smoking a bit of wacky backy.
No. Literally, it's not. I can't think of a crime that isn't that wouldn't be worse than somebody just getting a bit high.
Yeah, literally, there is literally nothing. That's the whole thing about drugs as well. Is it's such a stupid thing. Oh well, you know. Oh, what about the repercussions for that person? That person is having the repercussions, and they have chosen to do that drug. So fucking let them enjoy it, you know. And if it becomes a problem, then that's a medical issue, and that needs to be dealt with via medical staff, not via throwing them in prison, because that has never worked ever.
So strange. Such a strange concept.
It's like, as well, they'll go like, you sold a little bit of weed. Go into this prison with a bunch of cocaine and heroin and crack dealers, and get some extra contacts. Come out the other side and be a proper dealer, you dirty little bitch.
Basically,
that's what it is. Like the amount of people who end up getting like turned into true criminals because they go to fucking jail for a pathetic little fucking drugs offense. And it is pathetic, the vast majority of them, because they don't find the people with huge amounts of drugs. They don't find the big ass dealers, because the big ass dealers don't touch the shit. They have all their other little fucking like other guys to hand that shit around. It's like, I'll hand this over to you. You take it to this guy. Are you cool moving 50 kilograms of cocaine? Because I'm not fucking doing it, because I'm the one earning the money. So here's a bit of cash, off you fuck. And if you end up in jail, you don't know my name. You know?
Yeah, I think the only thing when it comes to drugs that are like, I think it's like, it's stupid. Well, not stupid, sorry. Just the content of like, I would never even think, I wouldn't feel sorry for somebody just trying to like sneak a load of drugs over like from country to country. Like, if you're, it's a really bad thing, just because it's really dumb to even try.
The stupidest fucking idea you can ever do. Every single country has drugs in it. You do not bring sand to the fucking beach, okay?
I love that way of putting it as well.
Yeah.
When it comes to drugs, the whole world, you're right, is a beach.
Yeah, every single country, and the thing is, it doesn't even need to be the same drug in every country. I went to New York, I couldn't get my hands on weed. You know what I did? I drank a bit more. It was fine. I was fine. You know, I couldn't sleep very well, but that's New York anyway.
I imagine if you go to New York now, it'd be not right now, but it'd be a lot easier. Like, because was that before? Like, is New York one of? And again, I don't know. Is New York one of the places that it's legal in that now? It's in most states now.
I think it's legal medicinally. I don't think it's legal recreationally.
Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't want to fuck with it anyway. And until it's like federally legal across the board in America, I'm not going to smoke anything while I'm on American soil, because I really like going to America, and the minute you have a criminal record, they won't let you go in anymore. So, yeah.
Oh God,
yeah. They're really strict about that as well. It's like if you have a criminal record, off you fuck, don't you dare.
Oh,
like there's ways around it. A warning.
I know someone that.
There are ways around it. Yeah, there are ways around it. Usually, if you've got money or contacts of some kind,
or if you're marrying someone.
Or you're marrying someone, but also the other main thing is like if it's a minor crime, or it's just a sort of warning, you can maybe get by. But if you've got something like kidnap, assault, anything like, you are not coming in. You are never.
Yeah, I can't really blame them either. If you got a violent crime in there, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
What the fuck would you want them to?
Yeah, fuck those people. But that's the dream for me, is to end up in America. I'd love that shit. That's the fucking...
I always wanted to live in America, and I just don't know anymore with everything I've seen and the way, like,
I still do.
Everywhere's kind of been falling apart over the last couple of years, but that's been so much worse.
Yeah, I still want to... I don't know what it is. There was something about it when I was over there that was really intoxicating. It was just a really different vibe and feel.
Yeah.
And there is that thing, it's tough in a lot of ways, but like, I think it would probably end up being worth it. And the thing that pisses me off most about it, if I'm honest, is the fact that it's just so fucking hard to get into that country. It's so hard to find a way to legally move to the United States permanently. It's...
Yeah, because it's all about, like, you can be there for a certain amount of time and stuff, but permanently, like permanent citizenship and that.
Yeah, and it's like you can get a lot of like 2-year visas and things like that, but even then you've got to go on a waiting list to get them and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, well, you can advance it a little bit further if you get a master's degree, but then you also have to have a job, and that has to adhere to your master's degree. And then even then you're only potentially getting through because you've got to get past all of the other Americans, and they have to prove that they need you more than they need anyone else. And it's like, fuck me.
No, I think if with comedy stuff, it'd be like working visas and that, wouldn't it? And you'd have to be earn a certain amount as well.
Yeah, exactly. But there is a really simple way into America if you can afford it, and that is just invest $500,000 in American companies.
Really? Is that actually a thing?
Yeah. Yeah,
wow.
Sorry, it's 1 million. It's 1 million if you want to invest it in random companies. But if you want to invest it in specific companies designated by the government that they would like you to invest in, guns, then can. Yeah.
I didn't even hear what that was. Guns.
If you invest in things like guns and military tech and stuff for DARPA and shit like that, then they're going to be like, oh yeah, we'll let you in for 500,000.
God, you know what? It doesn't. I never knew that, but it does not surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah.
I don't know why I never assumed that would be the case.
It's called like an exceptional person visa or something like that. It literally is just basically buy your way in.
Exceptional person, because the only thing that makes you exceptional is being a millionaire, multi-billionaire, obviously in that case.
Yeah. Which is this is the thing. Like, it's like I kind of get it, but I wish I could I would work so goddamn hard if I could make it in that country. So goddamn hard. You know what I mean? I would travel all over America doing gigs. I would never stop doing gigs on the road.
There's a lot more availability as well. It seems like it anyway, from what you see from over here. It seems like there's a lot more availability. But then again, there's just
a larger area of people. There's just a larger group of people there, so you get more opportunities to have, audiences.
Yeah, just because
that's why the alt scene is so big in America. They've got this whole alt comedy scene, which is, vastly different to the normal stand-up stuff, which is just like,
what do you mean?
Set up punchline and stories. Right, so the alt comics are people like Maria Bamford is a bit of an alt comic. The guy who plays Gene in Eugene something. He's an alt comic. There's
Nevsky?
I don't know. But there's Eugene Levy. That's a different guy.
I'm thinking the American Pie guy, aren't I?
Yeah. But there's quite a big group of alt comics in America, and they're not necessarily for me. I prefer Ari Shafir and Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer, Mark Maron, stuff like that. But
I don't know who I'm liking at the moment. I love Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino. I love Norm, but Norm's just not around at the moment again.
Yeah, he's not doing a huge amount. That's one of the things about Santino that annoys me is I really like Santino, but he's not actually got that many specials or things out. You can't really just sort of sit down and watch a chunk of his stand-up.
Yeah, well, he's quite new to it as well, though, isn't he, still? I say new.
Relatively.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been doing it for a fair few years, but I think he's not had a special yet, basically.
It's like, look
oh, Hannibal Buress. Hannibal Buress is the fucking Mac, man. Hannibal Buress is so goddamn underrated as a comedian. I need to rewatch me. Yeah, he's so good. He's so good.
Do you wonder if
he just writes ridiculous jokes that just no one else. It's like my favorite bit of his is the guy, do you ever run out of pickles in the pickle jar? And I did, and I dipped my fingers in the pickle juice and I flicked it onto my sandwich. And it's like that is just such a perfect fucking glimpse into this dude's life and the way he lives.
An observation, isn't it? Really, like
yeah.
But
it's the way he tells it and the way that he's like animating the flicking of the juice, and you can just see this dude just like, I refuse to let this shit die. I'm having my pickle juice.
Oh, I forgot to show you something actually from Mr. Williams. I just realised.
Oh Christ!
This was a letter that he sent to his lady partner after being in prison. I didn't write it all down. I meant to what it actually says because it's hard to.
I love you, sweet flower. Is that or?
Yeah, sweet something, isn't it? I know that's referring to his wife there, and I can't remember what it says in the middle, but I know at the end when he asks, "Take good care of sweet Rue," that's just the cat.
Oh God.
That's what he had to say to her.
I love you, Russ. Oh mate, come on. Like, not enough, really, is it?
Dearest Mary Elizabeth. Like, it's quite nice that he thinks that she's going to be welcoming to him after finding out all this stuff, you know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. This guy's clearly just fucking tapped, and he doesn't even realise it.
I mean, just to round it off for you to let you know what happened to him in the end. Then, after the attempted suicide with the toilet paper things, which failed, he also went on. He also went on hunger strike, which he stopped apparently pretty much as soon as he got hungry the first time.
Oh Jesus!
Like an allergy level of hunger strike, that is.
Yeah.
On the 18th of October 2010, he pled guilty in court and was sentenced to 2 life terms for the 2 murders and 120 years for other crimes that revolved around the whole thing in general.
120 years, fuck. He's not gonna.
Apparently,
see the light of day, is he?
Apparently, he's up for parole in 2035, but he ain't never gonna get paroled. He ain't never gonna get paroled. I hope he don't get paroled.
No one parole this madman. Jesus Christ!
God knows how 2 life sentences and also 120 years somehow means that what
you're up for parole
like
in a fucking years. 25. Yeah, Jesus Christ!
God knows how that works.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
The Canadian Armed Forces, though, publicly did this as well. Not only did they remove his medals, his title, his rank, all you know, like fuck you, basically get out. But they also
discharge.
They also burned his uniform for everyone to see, which I just thought was great. Is that just a thing they do? Is it?
That is what they have to sort of they have to retire the uniform and all like that because it's a disgrace to the uniform. And
I like that though, the fact I just burned it like that because I don't. I like Canada. Maybe I like Canada a bit.
It's also so that they can never wear it again and they can never pretend to be, you know, someone that they're not anymore. It's like fuck you, you are no longer part of this shit. You know, you gotta like that. You gotta like it.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, the fact that they would do that then, even in that situation where it's like, well, he ain't never gonna get a chance to wear it again, but fuck you, you ain't wearing it again. Burn that shit. Evil
motherfucker. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's just such
evil motherfucker.
He's just a weird guy. It's very interesting watching.
Yeah, but there's weird and then there's that, man. It's like it's again that weird it's the sort of the escalation that fascinates me about it. It's that sort of
the timing of it all too.
Yeah, and it just builds and builds and builds and builds. And then to get to the other end of it and just be like, Oh, hey, babe.
Yeah,
Look
yeah,
after the cat.
yeah. Look after the cat.
Yeah, like, what the fuck, man? Explain yourself. Tell your wife, your probably now sort of grieving wife over the sort of loss of her entire life, that you've been lying to her whilst murdering people. Like, fucking hell.
And that's just, the assumption which anyone should, like, because technically, from what they know, he's not a serial killer. But it's like, it wouldn't be a crazy thing to imagine that could have been another. It could have been. Although the escalation timeline,
I would put money on it.
There was those 2 months apparently where we did nothing. You don't hear a lot about that in most stories. Like when someone kills someone, it is followed up very soon after with something else.
Yeah,
like a couple of weeks or something. I mean, I don't know. It's like maybe different psychology. The psychology is all over the place in this story, though.
That's it. It's these sort of weird impulsive decisions alongside like fractured problem solving.
Yeah.
And like complete disassociation with what is going on around him as well. Just like clearly not having any understanding of what's going on.
Someone did say there was something I didn't write it down actually about one of his co-workers said that he did start to change a lot after taking those pills, but I just don't like however strong medication you're on, like if it changes you that much, it's because it was always there and that just brought it out a bit more, made you not care about hiding it or something. It was always there. It must have been.
I totally agree. Yeah, like there's no way that's just. Oh, whoopsie. I took the wrong pill and now I'm evil.
No, I'm psychotic.
Yeah. That can actually happen. There's a combination of drugs. I think it's cocaine and...
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, cocaine and SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, the standard like antidepressants they give people.
Yeah.
If you take a huge amount of those and cocaine at the same time, that will produce psychotic effects. You will just start having psychotic thoughts. You will start doing psychotic actions, to the point where there was a woman in America, a famous celebrity, who killed her husband and then herself or something like that because she was taking a heady mix of like antidepressants and a huge amount of cocaine. And she'd literally just become, the way she described it was like, just completely numb. Did she kill herself? I can't remember, but
maybe
the way people describe it is just completely fucking numb. Basically, they just don't have any emotion at all, and it's just like,
I'm guessing from the sounds of that though, it would have been a shorter time span then, like shorter time frame. Sorry.
Significantly shorter time frame. This is the thing. Like this dude having this sort of slow descent into madness doesn't really fit with him having one type of drug. Exactly. Not unless he was like gradually increasing the dose massively and getting more and more side effects. Like the dude is
coke at the same time as well or something. But
the dude's fucking tapped. There's no other fucking way to describe it. The dude is just fucking not there.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't. It's one of them as well. Like, there's not even like the weird backstory. Like his mom and dad split up when he was younger and stuff, And after they'd moved to that lab, and then they moved to Scarborough. Sorry, and the dad went somewhere else. But that, like that, it's ridiculous to say that would turn someone into a murder.
No, not alone.
No.
It's very strange.
There wasn't any kind of like abuse or anything like that when he was young, like you normally hear about. Like normally, like we said, it's a case of when you start the history, it's like at what point does it become the person's fault?
That's what's so weird.
Here, it's just him.
Yeah, it's like there's no one thing that seems to be like, well, that's where this came from.
Yeah. Other than the university, the university is the earliest sign of anything, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Stuff about, but even then, but in my opinion, like.
So this sounds almost like brain tumor shit. It sounds almost like brain tumor or aneurysm or stroke type stuff, where someone's brain has taken a huge amount of damage and has sort of changed the way it thinks along the way. Yeah. If that makes sense, that's almost what it sounds like with this dude.
Yeah,
but there's no evidence of that. There's absolutely no evidence of that.
I didn't even hear anything about like him actually actively fighting in war or anything like that. I mean, Canada since 1960 they ain't been anything, have they?
They helped in Afghanistan, I think, in a few bits like that, but they don't do a lot of like direct action, I don't think.
And even then, he would have been like more of a leader guy by then, wouldn't he?
Well, yeah, he would have been an officer. He would have,
because Afghanistan was like after 9/11.
Yeah. Well, there was also the Gulf War before that, because Iraq was invaded twice, once by George W. Bush Sr. and once by George W. Bush Jr.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's strange.
Was it George W. Bush? Or was it her? Yeah, I think it was George Bush.
I forgot about the whole Iraq. Yeah, that was done earlier, but I've seen.
Or was it George H.W. Bush who was senior? Whatever.
George W. Bush was definitely the junior one.
Yeah,
it was just George. Actually, no, I seem to remember that from The Simpsons now, because they was on that, weren't they?
Yeah, Herbert Walker Bush, that was it. Yeah.
Okay.
George H.W. Bush, and then it was George W. Bush. Yeah.
Q layers not getting both of my syllables.
Yeah.
He only gets one of my syllables. I'm made of Quimby.
No new taxes.
Quimby. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's just a weird story, that is, but interesting though.
Interesting, so interesting. Again, it's just this thing of what causes this in this person. We can never know because we're not, neuroscientists.
Oh yeah, they couldn't even know either though. Like, surely, like it's always best guess scenario too. Because even if they're telling you the whole truth, and even if they've got a lie detector proving that they're telling the truth, doesn't mean that in any way anything they're saying is true.
There is one way to prove it actually. That's with a brain scan. A live brain scan. You can watch the areas of the brain connected with lying literally light up as someone does it.
But then also as well, you got to think like people that are like, I don't know, schizophrenic and violent, or murderers that are schizophrenic and bipolar.
Oh, yeah, some people.
Surely there's got to be
believe it.
Something off.
But you can actually see the schizophrenia in the brain as well, because schizophrenia fires in a different way in the brain to like a normal brain, and the same with like psychopathy. Like in psychopathy, the frontal lobe is where you get most of your sort of do this, don't do that, why would you do that, that's horrible, that kind of stuff. And in people with like psychopathy, that area just shows a lot less activity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the same with all sorts of things like that with the brain. It's very, very weird that you can sort of watch it happen.
I'm guessing in that case, then, like that kind of stuff costs a lot less. A lot more to do than an actual lie detector test. Yeah, that's why I don't do it.
Way more.
Keep the pseudoscience instead. Don't go for the actual science.
Yeah, but like the brain is such an interesting machine because it is just a computer.
Yeah,
it's just a computer, but it's really good at generalized stuff as opposed to like these kinds of computers, which are all very specific.
Yeah, but it is literally. And then you got like when you see like, I feel like I've said this to you before, like about like how bees, how they're all formed in the hive and that like they're fit like a bee. It's like a bee, like a brain, aren't they? Like the way the way they're set out, like neurons firing to each other.
Yeah,
so they have a hive mind.
Yeah. The hive mind thing definitely works and stuff. It's like ants as well. Ants vomit chemicals into each other's mouths to tell each other what to do. That's how they do it. It's like the queen ant will go into one of the ants' mouths, and then that ant will go, okay, I shall take that information to the front, and then just vomit into another ant's mouth, and then they'll spread it round.
Wow, where was that in Ant-Man's powers? What the hell?
I know, yeah.
Amazing. See Paul Rudd throwing it up into people's mouths, just like.
Well, in fact, they do actually mention it because they talk about pheromones, and that's the type of chemical that they're talking about is pheromones.
Okay.
But basically, that is the way your brain communicates with itself. It releases a load of dopamine or something like that, and it just reacts with the rest of your body. That's what the ants are doing, but the body is separated out into lots of tiny little bodies, but they're still transferring chemical information in the same way that a body would transfer chemical information amongst itself. You know?
Yeah, you're right. It is really fascinating when you think about these things. And I mean, the brain in general, though, the brain is like...
The brain's the best.
And the worst, though.
Yeah.
Like, it can be your worst enemy and your best friend for the same reason as well, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a mega overthinker like myself, it's bore-like most of the time, but then when you're making something, it's great. It helps so much better. So you can't help but think about it.
Unless you get to the point where I'm with the sketch show again, where it's just like I've written this thing out and it took 2 months to write it, and now it's taking 2 months to like put it all together, and then by the end of it you're just like, oh god, can I just be okay with it being shit? No, I've got to fix this bit.
That's more like a time management thing, though, and like if you wanted to bring them out more regularly, you could do like small snippets of them rather than the longer episode. It's just
but there's something about a half-hour episode that just feels right.
I agree. Yeah.
It's
like the old classic sitcom thing. It's like when you start going like longer things, like for something scripted like that, it's a bit harder. Like I'm always turned off a little bit by like programs when I see like each episode is like 50 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Now 20 to 30.
That's a lot of commitment.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like anything above 35 minutes, I think is too long for an episode of something comedic. Basically.
Oh yeah, especially comedic, and especially if it's something you've not seen before as well, because once you're in it, it doesn't matter then.
Yeah.
So I suppose, So I was just thinking about The Office again as well. I'm finished The Office now. Oh, yeah, I finished the American Office, and one of the first things I did straight afterwards, I thought, you know what, I'm going to check out the British one. Why not? That'll be fun. First episode. Every joke, I was like, wait, they did exactly that joke in the American one. Wait, they did exactly that joke in the American one. And then remembering the whole way through, because I knew that the American one came after the British one, it started souring me on the American one. I had to stop watching it for that reason. But no, I can't. No.
Yeah.
Is it like that the whole way through?
Not really. Like, I think it's basically because the American one sort of had to take a few bits here and there just from the original, because people remembered the original so fondly.
I was hoping that it was callbacks and stuff, more so than anything from the first couple.
Yeah, although to be fair, I haven't watched the American Office. I've only seen the British one, so I can't really tell you yes or no. And I only really watched The Office because everyone told me I had to. If I'm honest, like it wasn't really my cup of tea. It's not a terrible series. It's a good series.
Very drearily shot, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's all part of it as well. I think that's all part of the style they're going for, which I can kind of respect.
I get it, but it just doesn't help me watch it.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. It's like, as I say, when it comes to watching a Ricky Gervais thing, given the option, I'll watch Extras instead, because Extras is way funnier.
Oh, I was looking at that and Derek. They're both on Netflix or Prime, one of them. And I was thinking I'm going to watch one.
Yeah. Definitely watch Extras. Watch Extras. Okay. Absolutely watch Extras. Because Derek, although Derek's quite sweet, it's not as funny. It's a bit more heartfelt. It's a bit closer to the tone of the original Office than it is just a straight up comedy, if that makes sense. Whilst Extras has just got some of the best comedic performances from people you just would not expect to give these comedic performances.
Well, it was one of them. The clip I saw was like literally like a minute clip, and it made me laugh so much in that minute. I was like, I've got to watch this at some point, so I probably will just watch it next day. And it was
definitely watch Extras. Yeah, that shit is.
It was a clip when Ricky Gervais was some German Nazi officer, and there was a wife next to him, and then some nun started coming to talk to them about how to sex talk on
the nun is Kate Winslet.
Oh, I did not realize that at the time.
That she is one of she is the best character in it, because she is just constantly going up to them and just talking like the most ruthless shit to them. And like Ricky Gervais you can't tell whether he's laughing because it's in the script or just because she is just shredding him. But I've never had
very
more
much
respect
like-
for Kate Winslet. That has never made me find Kate Winslet more attractive than her just being so fucking unrelentingly funny, so dry in the performance as well. It's so fucking good, man.
One of
It's
them weird
so
times when
fucking
dryness
good.
is a turn on.
Yeah, yeah, very good point. Yeah,
you make it like it's why I do with those kind of programs. I can imagine that there's a lot of random cameos, like just in The Office US, like especially the last couple of seasons. There was so many cameos. As soon as Steve Carell started to leave, it's like they just started throwing everyone in there. Like Will Ferrell was in a couple of episodes. There was a couple of yeah, he was the boss for a bit that was taking over from Steve Carell. And he was training them up, and then he went into a coma because of a dunking contest, which was just ridiculous. And then they were trying to find a new boss then after that. And in like 2 episodes, they had like fucking loads of people. James Spader was there. Jim Carrey was there. Ray Romano was there. Catherine Tate was there. Catherine Tate and James Spader ended up staying around after in the next series. Great until the end.
Yeah.
And then in the last couple of episodes, for some reason, or the last season at least, like Andrew Santino popped up for an episode. He was in it.
Nice.
Yeah, as an angry boat workman guy. Naturally,
the first time I ever saw Andrew Santino in anything, it was something called The League, which I still maintain is the funniest, most underrated series in American TV history.
The League?
It is The League. It is just about a group of friends who have an American fantasy football team, a fantasy football league, right?
Yeah.
And they are all fucking each other over in real life to get an advantage on a fictional football game. And it's just 6 series of that, and it's mostly improvised. In fact, it's all improvised. They sort of give them an outline for what the story is. Yeah. And it is, god damn, it is so fucking funny, man.
Is he so one of the main characters?
Funny. No, he plays a guy who's in the office of one of the guys who is one of the main characters. Because in one of the episodes, like there's the office toilet has got a toilet in it and a urinal next to it, but no divider between the two. So while he's just sitting in there in the urinal about to have a quick pee, this guy walks in and just starts shitting next to him. He's like, dude, you can't do that. If there's no divider, you stand outside her. And he goes like, what? That's not a rule.
No divider, you stand outside her.
Yeah. Actually,
think
that's the thing about America. The only thing that sucks about America, you know what the worst thing about America is? The toilet stalls. You know, in a toilet stall in America, in England, right? You sit on the toilet, and like at most you could see about that much.
Yeah.
In America, it's that. It's like even further. Like I don't know. I genuinely don't know whether it's they think someone's passed out on the toilet or something. You could just do that by leaning under anyway.
Yeah, you can still do the same thing.
Yeah, it's so creepy, dude. It's so creepy. I don't need it.
I don't feel like you'd generally be worried that your balls are just going to like hang down past it or something.
Oh, the water is too high in America as well. You have to hold your balls up, otherwise they will end up in the water.
Oh, in the toilet.
Yeah, because the toilet water is way higher than it needs to be. Way higher than it needs to be.
Okay. So
I have no idea why.
So Americans really do love wasting as much water as it's made out that they do.
As much as humanly possible, apparently, yeah.
I mean, you're filling up your toilets to the point at the top for literally no reason. Or you're going to... Yeah. That explains now why so many American people are talking about bidets and cleaning their ass and that, because they're getting constant splashbacks then.
Yeah. Oh, literally mate, splashback. Oh.
Yeah, well, better than your balls just falling in and dipping in, to be honest.
Yeah.
Splashback than that.
That was the worst bit, just holding your bollocks like, oh, fuck's sake. This is terrible.
The things we go through as men. You don't know, right? You don't know how easy you have it, women. You know.
Yeah.
I can't even say that with a straight face or even carry on that joke, to be honest with you. I've seen a woman give birth twice. No, they have it harder.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Oh, shit. Right, well.
Yeah, I think we're at the end of the stories now then for this week.
Yeah. I will I'll try and think of what to do for next week. Got a couple of ideas now just from today, so
good.
We'll see how that goes.
Do you want to fill everyone in about where they can get your stuff and that again?
I will, but I'm first going to burp first.
Okie dokie. Burp.
So, you can listen to Post-Apocalyptic Metal Treehouse. It's on this screen and this screen now because fancy.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, you can watch it on SoundCloud or listen to it on SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. And
some places you don't.
Indeed, in some places you don't. Episode 5 will be released by the end of next week, guaranteed. Hopefully before Wednesday, but that I can't guarantee.
Try and get some kind of clip or something.
Yeah, because the only thing is, like, I've got the episode 5 on the way, and then there's episode 1 that needs like a remaster as well, which it's only a couple of tracks that need a little bit of fiddling about with just to make it a little bit, better.
Yeah. I say, even if you can't get to be fair, even if you can't do a little clip from like the new one, just grab one from one of the old episodes as well.
Oh, I've definitely got the rap song.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Perfect then.
Yeah.
Cool. And that was, you just mentioned it then, so I'll carry it on. That was on this Wednesday, the 5th of May, the comedian quiz off. I have taken it back. KD's comedian quiz off. Fuck off, Mr. Plant.
Yeah.
Fuck you, sir. Although he might appear as one of the characters. Who knows?
Who knows?
But so far then it is King Leopald Bucket the Fourth, the bucket-shaped king with the, what is it, Nathan?
The bucket-wearing king with the bucket-shaped bling.
Oh, is it? I keep saying bucket-shaped king. I don't know why I keep saying that. And alongside Mitch Merkabah, the motivational mouth of the South, I think it was. Pretty sure that's correct, actually, yeah. I love that character. He's already got a little promo on his page. You just type in Mitch Merkabah about the quiz off, but I'll be sharing it before this goes out anyway, probably. So, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll have something come now soon, and then I think that's it.
There we go.
No, the Feet and Ball.
Blimey.
Feet and Ball on the 9th of May.
Ooh.
That was it, yeah. The Feet and Ball show.
Yes.
Football. The show about football for people who don't like football, because fuck football, it's shit. I like real sports like wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't watched wrestling. It's so strange. I haven't watched wrestling for a week. That doesn't sound like long, but that's a lot of wrestling I haven't watched. That's 7 hours of wrestling I have missed out on.
Fuck. That's the thing. It's like, to me, wrestling is literally like soap opera for dudes now.
Yeah, just too much now.
Yeah.
There is too much.
Yeah.
And in WWE right now, for example, they've just had WrestleMania. And normally after WrestleMania, people have won titles at WrestleMania like they did this year. And normally the next couple of weeks after that, they're like, oh, look at my title. I'm the best. I love it here. Blah, blah, blah. You know, at least up here. But it coincided somehow in one day. So WrestleMania was a Sunday, but then the Monday came and all of a sudden there was a COVID outbreak. And all of a sudden, all these people that were there the night before can't be there now. Almost as if they had it on the Sunday, but they were like, it's WrestleMania, fuck it, go home tomorrow.
And then suddenly, we're all ill.
Yeah, the new taking champions aren't there.
We can't make the money anymore. And that wouldn't surprise me either, because fucking McMahon doesn't pay sick leave or anything like that. So if you miss the thing, you're fucked. Off you go.
Especially WrestleMania. WrestleMania is WrestleMania to him.
Like, they need to make that bank.
I swear he didn't talk to his son Shane for years because he missed a WrestleMania. He just straight up didn't go, and that's like a huge thing to him.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's a messed up guy. Which is, but you know, it's okay because now Shane McMahon gets to appear at WrestleMania all the time and tries to kill himself every time to try and make his dad love him. So it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a healthy relationship right there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I am slightly falling out of love with wrestling at the moment. I'm sure it will come back. I imagine it will come back. I don't know.
Eventually, it probably will. But
yeah, it's like herpes. I think it's always going to come back again. Wrestling is like herpes, really.
Yeah,
really
wrestling is visual herpes, but that's
every now and then it's kind of fun. Should be more worrying than anything. Disappears, but it will always come back.
Yeah, eventually you'll start having that same rash again.
Yeah, and it's
then
pure cock and balls.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. I think that's a good note.
Yeah. And yeah. Thinking
that's
about
it.
I was about to say then I was thinking about cock and balls, I was thinking about rashes, and I was also thinking about Russell Williams at the same time. So the image in my head was not good.
God, no.
It hurt me. It made me die.
It
made me want to die.
Me too. God damn it. Yeah, a problem shared is a problem halved unless it's a problem to do with seeing the visual representation of gonorrhea on a big hairy man cock inside some lingerie.
So if that doesn't work,
I don't know why I went up from herpes to gonorrhea, by the way, but it was an upgrade, so
if that doesn't want to make you kill yourself, then I don't know what. But if you're going to kill yourself, then remember, just kill them, or whoever you're going to kill, just kill them with comedy.
With comedy.
I was just trying to get there. I don't know how I was going to get there, but fuck it, we got there in some way.
We got there. That's it.
Yeah. Anyway, what's up, everyone? Take care.
Cheers.